Oh yeah, it happened. I did it. I did it. It was a pain in the ass, but I did it, and we'll be talking about it. And hey, Crispy Potatoes, how you doing? No, you asked for it. We finally did it. No, oh, so it's just no team rounds. For some reason, when I read no teams, my thought was it was nothing but team games, but you were all on your own. So like only like certain people qualified. Let's do no teams. All right. So we are the Glizzy, which is, I guess, how we should open this. So, right, Fall Guys has been doing the events. They did the ratcheting, they did the Ratchet one, they did the Clank one, and then they did a Golden Hot Dog one. That was last weekend. And, you know, I'm not too good at Fall Guys. I've won a few, I mean, I have almost 100 crowns, but, like, I'm not too good at the game. But I worked my ass off. It actually didn't take me that long. The hardest part was getting the wins. Because I think to get the Glizzy, you needed 3 wins in total. My Ultra. On my new Switch that I got, I finally verified my Ultra Hard... Oh, and yeah, in Mario Maker. That's cool. I'm still waiting for my new Switch. I think that's, what, 2 months... a little over a month away. I think that's, October 8th? I'm still waiting. God, and then it'll be so nice to play Switch games again. Oh, I've missed it. Still haven't played Skyward Sword. Oh, look, there's a normal hot dog. But yeah, so Fall Guys did an event, and it was like you had to like qualify for certain rounds, and then you had to get at least 3 wins to get the golden hot dog. It was possible to get enough points for 4 wins, but to get the outfit, you only needed 3. It's been 2 years since the Switch released, and like 50% have had to get a new one. Is it really? 50% seems very high to me, because 50% was the Xbox's red ring numbers. I think it was, I think the red ring was 50% of all Xboxes. Which that number was, like, the fact that Xbox is still around today with a 50% failure rate on the Xbox still surprises me. Like, the fact that Xbox somehow recovered from that, from the red ring, that's, wow. It's been 2... And technically the Switch released, it's been, what, 4 years? 2017... So 2017 to 2018, 2018 to 2019, 2019 to 2020, 2020 to 2021. It's been 4 years. Ninja. E. But yeah, no, it's still, I'm still annoyed by Switch. I'm gonna hopefully, once the new Switch comes in and I've transferred over all my data, I do definitely want to see, maybe not through Nintendo, but definitely somewhere, I see if I can send it someplace to get it repaired. And, like, see if they can fix a third... Because, you know, I don't trust, I totally get why you shouldn't trust, like, first-party repair people. Because, you know, they have no reason to actually fix your product. Because they want you to buy a new one. Because they're first-party, right? They're licensed by Nintendo. So, like, maybe, like, depending on what the price would be, I would love to send it to, like, a third-party repair person. And see if they could actually, like, fix the fan in my Switch. And because I have to, the only thing I can think is wrong with it is the fan. Nothing, I haven't had problems with anything else. So that's got to be it. And yeah, it would be nice to send my Switch, get the fan fixed. And yeah. I can't figure out how to transfer. I have no idea. And that's something, I heard a horror story about transferring Switch data. And I have just tried not to think about it. Yeah, I heard a horror story once about how, like, things that can happen while trying to transfer Switch data. And I'm trying not to think about it. I've also been considering getting a new micro SD card before then. Because I think, like, you can get, like, a 250 whatever gig micro SD card for, like, I don't know. I think it's probably, like, I think I've seen them on sale for, like, 30 bucks. Orange something, orange, banana, watermelon, apple. Orange, watermelon, apple. Okay, I do actually know where the apple is. Oh, Animal Crossing New Horizons, New Horizons. So what? It's like FTL, faster than light. Yeah, because FTL is FTL. Okay, orange, grape, cherry. Orange, grape, cherry, watermelon, apple, banana. Orange, grape, cherry, watermelon, apple, banana. I think it's this one. Oh, shit, it was this one. I was about to jump for that other one. But yeah, I've been thinking about getting a new SD card, but I also don't know, like, what's the process of, like, upgrading to a new SD card? Like, is there one? Oh, God, I'm worried about that. Because I've filled up my Switch's SD card. I think I bought a 128 gig. That's all gone. God, have we really been going 7 minutes? But yeah, so in Fall Guys, right, all the other things to get the glizzy, the golden hot dog, was easy. Then it was doing the final 3 rounds. Now, I know someone who has Fall Guys on PC. And you can, and while there is not crossplay on PC with Fall Guys, if you, because, you know, we're in the same town, so if you click the start button at the same time and just, like, load into a game, we were doing team games, like Squad Show and Duos. If you clicked X at the same time on both systems, there was a good, I think, like, every time except for once, we were able to get into the same lobby, and every time, and of, like, the Duos game we did, I think we got in the same Duos team. And he's on PC, I'm on PlayStation. I think every time but like twice. So yeah, we did cross-platform play between Xbox, or between PlayStation and PC. And it worked out really well. Now, we didn't win a game. Us working together, right? We didn't win a game. But at one point, like, well, I think we were doing squads and we got put on different teams. And so while doing squads, we're on different teams. And my team gets kicked. We're in the same, like, lobby or whatever. My team gets kicked out immediately. So I'm like, you know, I'm going to go play, like, a main show while I wait for him to, like, do his one. Wow. So he eventually, like, fails out of his main show, I think in the finale, or his squad show or whatever. My main show, I go on, we get, oh god, what was the map we got? We got, there was one that eliminated it was the sci-fi one where you climb the mountain. We got that map, and it eliminated everyone but 3 people. That took us into Roll Showdown as the final. I was able to win Roll Showdown. So that was one of my wins. And then I was able to get 2 squad wins, like the 4-player squads, without him. And yeah, and then I was able to get the glizzy. I got 3 wins in a single day. I got 2, maybe even 3 crowns, and yeah. But yeah, so I'm like, that's probably the most, you know, for all my talk about, like, how bad at this game I am, because, you know, how often do we actually win on stream? I have been able to win several times. Of course, normally it's, like, once per stream, which isn't much at all. But when push came to shove, I was able to win. I didn't get the duos win, but I got the 2 squad wins, and I got the 1 main show win. I can win when I need to. And yeah, that got me the golden hot dog, the glizzy, as it's called. And yeah, that's just a cool get. And then I used the gold body paint, and the eyes are gold. I think the skin is called Midas. So yeah, I got a completely golden outfit. That's pretty cool. I'm pretty happy with my golden hot dog. Is this my new permanent skin? kind of doubt it. Right? Like, I just think it's, you know, I worked hard to get, kind of like, oh, what was another one? Was it Doom Guy who I worked hard to get? Because, you know, you needed 10 crowns to get it or whatever. I don't know, it's just one of those skins you work hard on, and, you know, I'm gonna freaking enjoy it while I can. So, yeah, of course, stuff like that can happen. What's the most difficult thing you've done in video games? Oh, that's a good question. I've never played a Dark Soul, so it's nothing in there. Let me think. The first thing that's coming to my head is, the B and C sides in Celeste. Even though I've never done the Chapter 9 DLC, I did the B and C sides, and those were a fucking nightmare. Well, the costume doesn't really interest me. Yeah, that's the first thing that's coming to my mind. B and C sides in Celeste. I've, like, platinumed a bunch of games, or, like, gotten all the trophies. I did get every trophy in Minecraft, which, while not very hard, took over, like, 200 hours. Beating Cuphead on expert mode. Yeah, I never beat Cuphead. I got to the final boss. I streamed Cuphead back in the day. And I got to the final boss, and I just couldn't beat the final boss. I was probably another, like, hour or two, and I could have done it. And I just, like, I put it down for that day, and I haven't picked it up since. And that was years ago. Yeah. I'm trying to think if there's, like, any hard, like, Zelda game I've, like... Is there, like, any hard, like, Zelda secret boss? Nothing I can think of. Maybe when I have a Switch, I'll try it again. That'd be... I was actually considering playing that, Rubber Ross World. Because I know he did that. And I was like, I know I'm gonna hate it. But I'm kind of curious. That was actually on my schedule, right? I had a bunch of things scheduled to do on stream. And the only one we ever did was Bowser's Fury. Haven't beat the Champions Road. Or... Did I beat the Champions Road on... I don't think I have, but I can't remember off the top of my head. It's getting all the medals and Punch-Out on Wii. Punch-Out on Wii is so good. I never did all the medals. But I beat the... I was surprised that when I got the NES Classic a few years ago, how I was still pretty decent at Punch-Out. Even, like, all these years later... Like, most of the time when, like, you don't play a game for long enough, your skills will start to fade. No, I was still pretty decent at Punch-Out. Like, I couldn't beat, Mr. Dream or... Yeah, I think it's Mr. Dream on the NES Classic. But I was pretty decent other than that. I'm trying to think. Any other hard bullshit I've done? It's mostly just, like, achievements, and a lot of those are just, like, they're not hard per se. They just take time, like Spider-Man on PS4. I wouldn't say the Platinum Trophy in that was too hard. It just took a lot of time. Like, I spent months on it. Well, months on and off. And it was starting to drive me crazy near the end. Like, you did the title defense? I know you beat the... why am I not... I know you have to beat... You can, like, beat Punch-Out Wii twice. I beat Punch-Out Wii once. I don't think I've ever beat it, like, the second go-around. When it, like, gets harder and whatnot. I don't think I've ever done that. But I know I've done it the first time. I don't know. I don't own Punch-Out Wii anymore. It's one of those games that I used to own and I don't anymore. Any other hard games? I'd really have to... I 100%ed Skyward Sword back in the day. Again, I don't think that was hard. That was just difficult. Title defense is bonkers. Yeah, I don't think I ever did that. I just did the main bouts. Did I fight Donkey Kong? I don't remember if I fought Donkey Kong or not. I remember the Nintendo Wii channel. Yeah, I remember the hippo, King Hippo with the manhole cover, yeah. I remember the Nintendo... So Nintendo used to have, like, their own, like, news channel on the Wii. Not the news channel, but it was, like, the Nintendo video channel. And on the Nintendo video channel, there was, like, a thing about, like, how to get Donkey Kong and Punch-Out Wii. And I remember being like, oh, wait, that's a thing? Oh, my gosh. So, no, I guess I never did do Donkey Kong. But I remember learning about that and being, like, blown away. Like, you can fight Donkey Kong in this game? Oh, my gosh. And then, of course, there's the AGDQs where you watch people do Punch-Out blindfolded. I don't remember who does it blindfolded, though. Oh, God. It's so cool to see, but I don't remember the speedrunner's name. And then, of course, there's Summoning Salt, too. Summoning Salt's done a few more of those speedrunning things. Oh, my God. So, Summoning Salt did that one about Mario Kart. Right, about Mario Kart 64, and that one guy's attempts to get all the records on Mario Kart 64. Somebody did that. Somebody got all of the records in Mario Kart 64. Like, one person has all of them. Punch that has 3 frame runtime. Yeah. But yeah, someone got all... So I read this news story, yeah. Someone got all the times. And you know how they did it? They got the time, and then they just didn't submit it to the leaderboards. They banked a bunch of speedrunning times, and then all at once submitted them all. So, like, they submitted, like, 20 speedrun records on the same day. And by then, it was just too late to stop them. And the guy who was actually, like, legitimately trying to get all... I think it's 32 titles. The guy who was legitimately trying to get all 32 was like, nope, this is a really scummy thing to do. I think I'm done for the moment, right? Like, I think he's retired from speedrunning Mario Kart. And, you know, I kind of see it, right? Holding all, like, 20-plus records in your back pocket and then just submitting them all at once. That's a pretty scummy thing to do. I don't remember either of the people's names. But yeah, that Summoning Salt video was so fucking good. It's his one on Mario Kart 64 is one of the best. Oh my gosh. And then he's done a bunch of new stuff since then, and I haven't seen any of it. I think that Mario Kart may have been the last one I saw from him. Either that or it was like Wii Sports Golf. God, one day I'm gonna speedrun. One day I will speedrun a game. I actually found a copy of Cooking Mama Cookstar the other day for Switch. I don't know if that's rare or not, but I feel like it's rare. And I know Laura K. Dale runs that speedrun category, and I'm like, you know, maybe I should give my shot at this. That might be fun to do Cooking Mama Cookstar. Because I know that's not... I mean, of course, Laura K. Dale's the defending champion, but... Like, other than that, I think there's only like 2 or 3 other people, and I'm like, you know, maybe I could at least get on the leaderboards. There was that one time I got on the Donut County leaderboards by accident, or at least I could have. Because I, just in a casual playthrough of Donut County, I beat the game in like, was it 30 minutes or something like that? And that would have placed me in like the top, like, I don't remember what it was. One day I will speedrun a game. That'll be fun. How the fuck did this start? Playing hard games? I've 100%ed all the Shovel Knights. Like, I've even done that one fight in King of Cards. So fucking hard. That's like the secret Final Fantasy boss fight. Could never beat the secret boss fight in Mario RPG. Never even beat Mario RPG. Because, yeah, I remember messing around with, like, ROMs and whatnot back in the day and just, like, doing whatever. Fun times. Fun times. But, again, it's not It may be morally okay to pirate Nintendo games, but I have to legally discourage it. There's an online leader 97, but I was so happy. That was me and what was I in that? There's a game that just released on Switch like 2 weeks ago called Islander, and was I in the top 100? I think I was in the top 100 players on like the Switch version. I could be wrong. I don't remember what the number. I think it's top. I think I was like 80, like 7 or something like that. Like I was somewheres up there. I don't remember, and I doubt I'm still there anymore. But yeah, there's a game called Islander on Switch that I was pretty high up on. And of course, Mini Metro on the other hand, I've been like top like 1,000 for like a minute just because that I uploaded the course as soon as the daily challenge started. Or I meant Mini Motorways. Now that the game is super popular, you have to be on leaderboards. Yeah. Okay, let's see. So we know the path goes up here. It's just where does it go from here? Okay, it's not there. I don't know how. It's right here. Yeah, I can't think of any other hard games I've done. No, I guess I just don't really play hard games. Like, that's... Like, occasionally it's fun to, like, 100% or get all the platinums or achievements in a game. But, no, I don't really play hard games. That's just not my style. I like to have fun. And, you know, and a lot of, like, hard games like that are, like, the rage quitty games, like, Geometry Dash and Quap and... Is it called High Jump? I think the game's called High Jump. Just aren't my style. Oh yeah, Celeste is fantastic. Celeste was my game of the year in what, 2018? Oh my god, I just got fucking whatever. Yeah, no, Celeste is fantastic. I never did the DLC, but I enjoyed it other than that. Yeah, Quap. I remember Quap. Oh god, back in the day when you used to sit down and you play Quap, you play Happy Wheels. Okay, Squad Duo. You play oh god, the Papa's Kitchen games. Oh god, the mini clip I think was what it was called. Nitram was also pretty good. I think they're making Nitram's making a Shovel Knight game nowadays, which is actually pretty cool. But yeah, god, the golden age of Adobe Flash games, and that age is long dead. Well, because Adobe Flash is dead. But I'm also very persistent. Yeah. See, what I liked about Celeste was like I didn't like I died like over 3,000 times in my first ever like completed run of Celeste. And I'm not talking just like the initial like 8 or so levels. No, the initial 7 levels actually. No, maybe 8. I died like 3,000 times. Never got angry at the game. Never once. I was having so much fun with Celeste. I didn't even have time to get angry. No. Now, there are some games that have really annoyed me. Roguelikes. Oh, God. Tumbleseed. Oh, fuck. Tumbleseed drove me crazy. But... yeah. I don't know. So, I do have some news tonight. So... okay, so I'm going to tell this. So, how do I start this? So, a few nights ago... the trailer for the new... So a few days ago, the trailer for the new Spider-Man movie leaked. And right, and people are like, oh, don't watch the leaked trailer, blah, blah, blah. Usually the images always find their way to me. And I was like, you know what, I'm just going to try to find a copy of this trailer. It was not easy to find a copy of that leaked trailer. But I did, and the second I found a copy, I was like, yoink. So I watched the leaked trailer, and then the next day, so I watched the leaked trailer, and then the next day, I go to show it to somebody, and right as I'm sitting, because, I yoinked a copy of the leaked trailer, so right as I'm, like, going to show it to somebody else, they're watching something else, and I'm letting them finish their video or whatever, and I'm like, hey, you want to see the new Spider-Man trailer? Like, 2 minutes while they were watching their video, like 2 minutes beforehand, I was going to show it to them, they posted the official trailer. So yeah, I got to see. I saw the leaked trailer the night before, and then I got to see the official trailer the day of, right when it was posted, more or less. And yeah, no, it's a pretty decent trailer. I don't know. I've seen a lot of people joking about, like, people's expectations for this new Spider-Man movie are, like, so big that it will be impossible to live up to. And on one hand, I totally think they're right. Right? Because people, there's a lot of people who do not like Far From Home. And there's a lot of people who do not like Homecoming. So this No Way Home, I also expect a lot of people to dislike it. A lot of the people, I think people are setting impossible expectations. But for me, I just want a story about Spider-Man's secret identity. I don't want them to do all this multiverse bullshit. I want a story about Spider-Man's secret identity getting revealed, and that putting at risk the people he loves. And at least part of this trailer looks like it's going to be that. Of course, they are doing the One More Day, even though Doctor Strange is no fucking help in One More Day. I've read One More Day, the comic where Peter Parker sells his marriage to the devil. Terrible comic. Fucking terrible. Because, for some reason I only read bad comics. And yeah, no, everything terrible about it's true. And Doctor Strange is no fucking help in that comic. But seeing, the idea of, them doing the multiverse in this, I'm still kind of wary on. But hearing Willem Dafoe's laugh and seeing the Green Goblin bomb and seeing, I'm forgetting the actor's name as Otto Octavius again, as Doc Ock. Willem Dafoe is the Green Goblin. And is it Regis? It's not Regis. Oh God, what's his name? I don't remember off the top of my head. But seeing him as Doc Ock again is so cool. Like that, I don't know. I have not seen the Raimi trilogy in probably 10 years. So I'm gonna rewatch. People hold up the Raimi trilogy as the greatest fucking Spider-Man movies ever, or at least the second one. I don't know. I don't know if it is, but I'm definitely gonna rewatch it at some point. Probably in the lead up to this new one. But yeah, and the idea of Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield coming back as main characters in this, I don't care for that. Personally, I'm good. But there's potential here for something really cool. And I also and if they're just cameos, maybe they have one moment, or maybe they show up for the fight scene at the end, I guess I'd be fine with that. I also like the idea of the Peter Parker from the video game showing up as well. And I'd love to see something from Spider-Verse, which is probably the best Spider-Man movie, show up. But I don't know how possible that is, because animated. Even though they could just make it animated. But, there is an actor who is face mapped to do the video game. You could just get that actor. I mean, they even recast him for the PS5 version. You can just do that. So that'd be a cool get. Got a Big Fish Island on Animal. 4 islands. Guns. There are so many rare islands in New Horizons I never even got. Yeah. It sucks. Oh, Alfred Molina. God, where was I getting Regis from? Alfred Molina is Doc Ock. That's it. And then I guess Electro's also back, who I don't care. I did Amazing Spider-Man 2 has like a few good moments, but it's not that good. And Amazing Spider-Man 1 is fine, even though I do think it screws up the whole Peter. The Amazing Spider-Man movies screw up the Peter Parker thing because they make Peter Parker into a chosen one, which like that's the antithesis of Spider-Man, and that's why No Way Home is so good. Because it gets, or not No Way Home, Into the Spider-Verse is so good because it understands that anyone can be Spider-Man, whereas Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man was like a chosen destiny sort of thing. Like, they're one step away from doing spider totems, which I know they will eventually. New Switch is coming in, and I'm out. New Switch is coming in October. Same day as, the Metroid Dread. The only lucky NMT I got was when I was looking for a new villager and got margarine on my first try. Yeah. I went looking for a new villager a while ago. Couldn't find anything. I've not been getting along with Animal Crossing recently. I'll talk about it later, though. Let's see. Next up. Right, Jeff Keighley started off E3, or his Summer Games Fest, with Summer Games Fest, like, opening night live or whatever. Or whatever. It wasn't called opening night. I don't remember what it was called. That's how Summer Games Fest, the whole E3 season, started. Well, that season ends with Gamescom Live. Margarine? Yeah, like butter. That's her name, right? Yeah, it's totally margarine. Like butter. Everybody loves butters. That's me. Oh, God. Now I'm thinking South Park. Everyone knows it's Butters. That's me. I know it's meringue. Oh, hey, look, I'm up here. I know, but I'm going to call her Margarine. Because I know it annoys people. I feed off your suffering and annoyance. Yes, let it fester. Let it consume you. Ah, shit. I need to watch What We Do in the Shadows with the fucking energy vampires. Like, that's their entire shtick, is they just feed off of people's misery. It's so fucking funny. Yeah, so Gamescom, so Summer Games Fest, the E3 season, which lasts, what, 3 fucking months now, has finally ended with Gamescom opening night live. And that happened on... Did it happen Wednesday? I don't know. I was in class when it happened. It was always interesting to find. Yeah, coelacanth. No. But yeah, so Gamescom, you know, I missed the live stream, but I watched it later. And you know what? Well, it's got a little slow near the end. The Gamescom opening night live was actually really good. Like, they showed off so many good games, had so many good announcements. Of course, there were some shit. Ubisoft, the company that protects mental and physical abusers, did have a few games shown there. But there were some actually, like, good announcements. It did slow down a little near the end. Like, the last, like, half hour, I was just kind of like, whatever. But that first, like, hour and a half, no, I legitimately think, like, of all the E3 conferences, this is one of the better ones. Like, seriously, this beat out, like, half of the shit. Like, to end off, like, the gaming, like, summer season, Gamescom opening night live was fantastic. The only thing it was missing was a Nintendo announcement. And we'll get to that. I'll talk about that at the end. But yeah, so we started off with the new Saints Row. As I've said, I have not played the first two Saints Row. Even though I hear nothing but great things about the second one. Saints Row 3, I think, is overrated. I don't think it's actually that good of a game. Nah. But Saints Row 4, which is like the like super villain stuff where you get like abducted by aliens and put into the virtual reality, really good game. Really enjoy it. Get Out of Hell, also pretty fun. It's probably not as good as 4. I think 4 is probably my favorite. Again, never played 2, even though I've heard nothing but good things about 2. But this new Saints Row seems to be more, like, scaled down. I mean, there's still some, like, crazy bullshit that happens. Like, there's these, like, super, like, rocket launchers or whatever. But, like, other than that, no, the game seems back, like, I think you're in Vegas this time, and you're back in, like, your gang, and you're just fighting rival gangs. And, you know, because Saints Row is just kind of, like, wacky GTA, even though GTA can get pretty fucking goofy, if you ask me. But yeah, no, this seems like a more, like, level, like, I know it's more wacky, like, there's a kid with a cat mask going around. So, like, there still is that weird element there. Whenever you're disappointed with an E3 announcement, just remember someone is. Yeah, fair. Someone is hyped about that announcement. Yeah, fair. Every Pokemon is somebody's favorite. That's just kind of the way things go. But yeah, no, so, like, this new Saints Row takes place in Vegas. It's going back down to, like, traditional gang warfare. I don't know. I'm still not... I think it's coming to both PS4 and PS5, so I could theoretically pick it up, but will I? I don't know. But it doesn't look too... It looks... Again, I like the Saints Row. I like the 4 and Get Out of Hell. Second one, I've heard nothing but great things, and this reminds me, because this one seems more scaled down, it seems more like the second one. And the idea of, like, a GTA... Because I think there's, like, some sort of Vegas in GTA San Andreas, I think? Isn't, like, Nevada in GTA San Andreas? I haven't played GTA San Andreas, so I don't actually know. But, the idea of, like, a GTA game taking place in Las Vegas, maybe it's just because I've been watching so much Fallout New Vegas. I'm like, no, that's a pretty good idea. That sounds fun. So yeah, I'm kind of interested in Saints Row. Marvel's Midnight Suns. So there was a rumor that 2K and Firaxis was making a Marvel game. And yeah, we were expecting to see it earlier than this, admittedly. But yeah, no, it's called Marvel's Midnight Suns. And admittedly, so we were expecting, like, Marvel XCOM, which is kind of what we're getting, from what it seems like. Like, the idea of Marvel XCOM is an amazing idea. I love Marvel XCOM conceptually. Nope. Yeah, conceptually, I love the idea of Marvel XCOM. So, like, the studio Firaxis, I think it's Firaxis, doing a Marvel XCOM game, fantastic idea. It is now, in an interview afterwards, they did admit it's not as XCOM as people think. It's a tactical RPG, and I think they compared it more to Fire Emblem Three Houses, which, I mean, Fire Emblem Three Houses is still a tactical RPG along the lines of, like, XCOM, even though they're put in, like, completely different categories. Of course, there won't be any, like, romance options in this game, or, like, petting faces, or whatever weird shit Fire Emblem comes up with. But, yeah, no, I'm kind of interested in this. And, like, the protagonist is is like a brand new hero that was created with Firaxis and Marvel in tow. They're called, like, Hunter or something like that, and you can, like, customize your character, and you have, like, these new, like, Midnight Sun outfits. Oh, I didn't mention Saints Row is coming out in February. So with all these games I'm going to talk about, February keeps coming up. Holy shit. And I'm sure we'll talk about it more. But yeah, this new Marvel XCOM, March 2022. And yeah, Saints Row is February 2022. Next year is going to be huge. And we'll talk about it more at the end, I guess. But yeah, no, this Marvel Midnight Suns thing, I'm totally down for a Marvel XCOM game. That sounds fun. That sounds like a fun game. I'm totally down. They showed off Call of Duty Vanguard, which, you know, Activision Blizzard's in the middle of their lawsuit. Fuck Activision Blizzard. Of course, admittedly, in that lawsuit, most of the bullshit is coming out. Everything is the Dark Souls of something. Also, everything is the Breath of the Wild of something. I saw somebody comparing Elden Ring to Breath of the Wild today. So everything is Breath of the Wild as well. That's the new one. But yeah, the new Call of Duty, like the studio, yes, the studios in the Activision Blizzard lawsuit is not the studio that's working on this new Call of Duty. That is true. However, the people who run Activision Blizzard, who let all the terrible shit slide that got them into that lawsuit in the first place, still make money off this game no matter what. So like whether you support whether you're like supporting Blizzard, like one of the shitty studios that is directly responsible for the abuse, or you're supporting a studio like this, either way the executives are still making money. You can't just, with major like big AAA studios like this, you can't just pick and choose which games you support, because at the end of the day, executives are still making all the money. Also, but the one nice thing I will say, is that seeing Laura Bailey kill Nazis, I'm down for that. You know, sure, let's fucking go. Laura Bailey killing Nazis? Yeah, too bad this is a fucking Call of Duty game. Next up, Halo Infinite. Well, I'll see you around, Crispy. Nice seeing you. So we got some new stuff for Halo Infinite. Wait up too late. Oh god. I have for school, for college classes, I go from class from 7 a.m. in the morning until 7 p.m. at night. And that's not including like me driving down to the university, which takes like an hour. Fuck. I have such a long one day a week is like a 12-hour day now. Fuck. I'm so tired afterwards. And that's every day for the next 16 weeks. Oh god, and then no, I'm not gonna talk about that. Let's just say I signed up for more classes. Not this semester, but later. I was almost done. And then I signed up for more classes. Come on. But that comes later. That's next year. But yeah, so Halo Infinite got a new trailer. I actually really like this Halo Infinite trailer. Like I know Microsoft. Hey, look, there's someone who has a similar costume to me. Microsoft did like a Gamescom showcase a few days ago. I'm not even talking about it tonight. So like that tells you what was in it. But like the Halo trailer in this, it was pretty good. I liked it because it's like this woman who's like on the battlefield and she gets saved by the Spartans and that inspires her to become a Spartan. I know it's military propaganda, but damn well if it's effective. Like fuck. So yeah, that was pretty cool. And they announced a Halo Xbox Elite controller. I hear those like, don't get me wrong, I like the Switch Pro controller, or at least I liked it when it wasn't drifting. But from what I hear, the best controller in gaming is the Xbox Elite controller. And while I've never used one before, I know somebody who owns one though, and I guess I should see how it feels. Maybe one day. But yeah, no, I've heard nothing but great things about the Xbox Elite controller. So getting like a Halo one, that's pretty cool. There's also a Halo Xbox Series X. Also looks pretty cool. Again, even though my Xbox Game Pass expired, which we will talk about later, God, it's crazy to think I was so anti-Microsoft. I know I say this every time. I was so anti-Microsoft, and now I'm kind of rooting for him. I just hope they stop doing shitty gameplay practices. I know they aren't. I know Halo's gonna have microtransaction. It's a free-to-play game. At least the multiplayer is free-to-play. It's gonna have microtransactions or loot boxes or some bullshit. Like, they're gonna fuck it up somehow. But yeah, no, seeing like this new Halo stuff, that's pretty cool. Next up, we got a new game from Devolver Digital, Cult of the Lamb. This game reminds me of like every indie game smashed into one. First of all, the art, it has the big-headed character in a scary world art style, which the art style is great. But then it's got like elements of like Enter the Gungeon. It's probably a roguelike. So yeah, it's got Enter the Gungeon. It's got elements of Don't Starve in it. This game just has like a little bit of everything in it. But it looks great. Like this, it's Cult of the Lamb. Like, it's a clever name, but like, it's just kind of cool. And like, it kind of, there's a game called Pocket God back when the iPod like first came out, right? Like the iPod with the touchscreen and like the App Store was brand new. There was a game called Pocket God. You can find clips of it on YouTube. I think I made a video on it back in the day. It's fucking horrible, but I did. And I used to love that game. And there are some elements that remind me of that in this. So I'm totally on board for whatever this Cult of the Lamb is. I don't think we got a release date or anything like that. But whatever this is, it looks pretty cool. So I'm down for it. It's Devolver Digital after all. We got some new Super Monkey Ball. I've never played a Super Monkey Ball game. I've seen, I think, Vinesauce Let's Play either the first or second one. They look great, and this remake seems to be extremely faithful. And like they announced that, hey, guess what? Not only are we remastering some of the old Monkey Ball games, but we're also bringing back the part. Yeah, like, you know how like people love Pokemon Stadium's party modes? It looks like they're bringing back the party modes from Monkey Ball, which is also something that people love. So that's real. This remake seems extremely faithful. And to those who are excited for it, fuck off. I'm happy for them. And I'm definitely, even though this comes out, I think like a few days before Metroid Dread, if I remember correct. I think it comes out on Tuesday and Metroid Dread comes out on Friday. I'm probably going to pick up both. I mean, I haven't bought a video game in months. What was the last video game I bought? Because I haven't bought anything on Game Pass. Oh, well, I guess I mean, I bought Islander, and that's an indie game, so I guess that technically counts, but you know what I mean. I just think, yeah, no, this Monkey Ball looks great, and then they announced Morgana from Persona 5 will be one of the DLC characters. Another game on Nintendo Switch that has Persona 5 characters in it, but is not actually Persona 5. It still blows my mind that that's not on Switch and Banjo-Kazooie isn't on Switch. Like, you can just put those games on Switch. Nobody would care. Again, I would love for an N64 virtual console thing. Wow, only 2 people. I mean, it was probably more. Let's see. Oh, and I also should say, talking about Gamescom, I am not talking about every announcement. I know, right, so far I've mostly gone in order of what was announced. But yeah, I'm not talking about everything. I'm skipping some things. You can look up a full list if you want. I'm just talking about the things that interest me. Lego Star Wars, the Skywalker Saga. I loved the original. Technically, they made 2 Lego Star Wars games, and then they combined them into one single game called Lego Star Wars 3. Loved those games. Fantastic games. Especially, like, the third one that had, like, the complete collection in it. Fantastic. And my worry is, like, well, part of the charm of the old Lego games is, like, there was no voice acting. Like, the characters just had to emote everything. And, like, that seems kind of weird, especially for a game on, like, the PS2. But it was actually, like, super charming. And my worry was that this new Lego game just couldn't, like, live up to that. But from looking at this new trailer for this new Skywalker Saga, no, it seems to be pretty faithful. I don't know how faithful, honestly, but, like, there were some cute moments where I was like, you know, that's kind of cute. Like, that's, like, they're doing a lot here with a little. That's not terrible. God damn it, those fucks moved it. Ah, crap. Oh, it's finally low enough. I could have had it. And then that fucker moved it. Nope. I could have had it, and then, yeah, he moved it, and that was it. But yeah, Lego Skywalker, it looks pretty decent. There's like an open world element to I do worry about, and this game has also been delayed like 9 times. It was originally supposed to come out in 2020, and it's coming out in spring 2022. That's still a ways away. So on that end, I am, kind of skeptical, kind of worried about it. So this either could be a great game or it could be a total disappointment. I'm kind of open for both possibilities. I know part of it is COVID, but I know that's also not all of it. That's not the whole story either. Halo Infinite was in the show. Then we got fucking Horizon Forbidden West. Admittedly, there wasn't like a big gameplay thing for Horizon Forbidden West. There also wasn't a big gameplay thing for Halo either. Oh, and I didn't even mention with Halo, we got the release date, December 8th. Yeah, December. I think that's the same day Advanced Wars comes out, which is probably the one I'm going to buy. Even though I might buy more Game Pass by then, because, Game Pass is actually pretty decent. But yeah, December 8th. It actually leaked that morning. I originally had it on here as a separate story. But yeah, Halo's December 8th. And for Horizon Forbidden West, which I don't think had been officially delayed, but it God of War was, but I think it had been rumored to be getting a delay. And they announced that in the showcase, yes, it's getting delayed to February 18th, 2022. Again, there's February. And might I remind you, that's just a few weeks after the new Pokemon, the open world Pokemon that I sure will be reviewed well and everything, and the open world and Elden Ring. Those are just a few days within each other. It's a few weeks. So yeah, within just a few weeks, you get Elden Ring, which is Elden Ring Xbox? It's probably on everything, but you get Elden Ring. You get this new, oh, you bitchly. You get Elden Ring, you get Pokemon Legends Arceus, and you get Horizon Forbidden West, all within a month. Holy shit. That alone, 2022 is going to be huge. And we still might get Breath of the Wild 2, and God of War. Hey, Brainless, how you doing? We might get God of War. We might get Breath of the Wild 2. We might get a new Donkey Kong game. I kind of doubt that, but we'll see. There's a ton of other shit. 2022, I think right now, the biggest year in all of video games is considered 2007, which, gives us games like BioShock and Super Mario Galaxy and Halo 3 and God of War. I think God of War 2 is 2007. Maybe it's God of War 3. It's one of the God of Wars, right? 2007 is considered one of the biggest years in gaming. 2022 looks like it might also be one of the biggest years in gaming. Right now, we only know about stuff in January through March. And it's already looking huge. Good in yourself? I'm doing good. I'm just tired. School is a lot. It's keeping me very busy. I have a lot of work to do this weekend that I have been pushing off for this weekend that I'm probably going to do I'm probably going to take tomorrow off and then just do it all on Sunday. But yeah, college has been keeping me very busy. And especially now that I have more classes, which is definitely... Oh, God, I'm just tired. Let's see, next up... Oh, we have some Fall Guys news. Fall Guys announced they're doing a Disney crossover. Right now, the current theme in Fall Guys is Jungle Book, so the new Fall Guys or the current theme in Fall Guys is jungle. So the new Fall Guys Disney crossover is Jungle Book. I do not care for this new Fall Guys Disney crossover at all. Like, it's cool, I guess, and I hope they... I mean, yes, I know Fall Guys did a Tron crossover, which was also Disney. But I didn't care for that. And yeah, I don't care. I do not like the Jungle Book. Like, I think I might have when I was a kid. I remember reading the Jungle Book in school. I remember having to do a project on, like, the Jungle Book in, like, 6th grade or whatever. I don't know. I don't like the Jungle Book movie, and I didn't like the book either, I think. Yeah, so I really do not care for this Fall Guys crossover. Like, there are so many other cool Disney properties you can get. And I understand, this season's theme is jungle. So it makes sense, but I just don't give a shit. I think the first costume in the set is on the 3rd of September, so... And it's going to be an event like the Ratchet and Clank one. But yeah, I just don't care. I don't know, it's the Jungle Book. It's not a movie I really care for. Next up, Sifu. Sifu is like this action game, and it seems like every time you lose, you get a little bit older, and it just looks really cool. Like, I think it's been at Microsoft. I think it's been at Microsoft showcases. No, it's actually been at PlayStation showcases now that I'm thinking about it. It's been at several PlayStation showcases, and it's always looked really cool at the PlayStation showcases. It looks really cool here, and it got the release date of February 22nd, 2022. So, yep, this is another game coming out in February. And then they ended off with the Death Stranders director's cut. You know, they explained like, hey, guess what? It's now easier to move around. It's now easier to move cargo. We're adding a whole racing minigame to the game. Honestly, like, it seems like... I don't know how some of this director's cut stuff is being implemented, but it seems to be addressing some of the major problems with the game. Like, I know people have, like, a problem with, like, you being able to, like, trip over yourself constantly, and just, like, how annoying the game can get. And it looks like some of this content from the director's cut is, like, addressing some of those issues, which, that's really cool. If they're actually gonna fix some of this, like... Ah, God, that fucking... I've gotten to, what, one finale tonight? Maybe we should move over to some squad games. This director's cut for Death Stranding, yeah, no, it looks... From what I've never played Death Stranding. It's one of the few PS4 games I wanted to buy, but I haven't yet. I think Death Stranding, Tetris Effect, which I actually do own nowadays. And there was, like, one other... Well, no, I actually don't own Tetris Effect. It was on Game Pass, and I don't have that anymore. But it is coming to Switch, isn't it? So, yeah. I don't know. I wanted to get it on PS4 for the VR. One day I'm going to get PlayStation VR. Maybe the new one. I don't know. But yeah, no, Death Stranding, yeah. You know, I'm down for it. I don't know. I want to play the game. I'm curious about it. Even though it seems to have some fucking problems. Oh, whoa, thanks. Thanks, computer. You're so helpful. But yeah, no, that was Gamescom Live. I think it's pretty decent. I think it was a pretty good showcase. A lot of the things I just talked about were early on in the show, like the first like hour. But that still doesn't change the fact that I'm interested in all those things. So yeah, I don't remember what I rated the original game Summer Games Fest kickoff. I think it was called Kickoff, wasn't it? Now that I'm thinking about it, I don't remember if I gave that like a B or whatever, but I'd probably give this a solid B, maybe a B plus. Definitely, like, with some of the disappointing E3 shows this year. No, this one for like an end off for Summer Games Fest, this was a pretty good end. The only thing they were missing was a good Nintendo trailer, because you know Jeff Keighley was able to make contracts with everyone else except for Nintendo. And then what does Nintendo do 2 days later? They release a new trailer for Metroid Dread. Yeah, we got a new trailer for Metroid Dread today. If this had been at Opening Games Night Live or whatever, I would definitely have probably given the showcase an A. Like, just one big Nintendo trailer, yeah, easily that would have moved the showcase up. And, you know, like, Nintendo, like, people have been wondering if we're going to get a Nintendo Direct in September. We might, but I also don't think we need to. Like, what are they going to show off? Some more Metroid Dread, some more Mario Party, maybe we'll finally get a good look at Splatoon. No, they can wait until January for that, honestly. Even though, again, I'm expecting it in, like, March. I don't know. I honestly would not be surprised if we don't get another Nintendo Direct this year. I could also see it also being in October. Like, maybe around, like, closer to Metroid Dread. But yeah, we got a new Metroid Dread trailer from Nintendo. And, like, the big thing in this one is there's, like, this giant, like, Chozo armor that, like, seems it's alive and it attacks Samus. It's got, like, Samus's, like, arm I don't know what Samus's armor is called. I want to call it the Varia suit, but I think the Varia suit is just, like, one of the upgrades. But, you know, for in all intents and purposes, let's just call it the Varia suit for the rest of this. But yeah, it's like the trailer shows a Chozo in the Varia suit. And it's got the arm cannon and everything, and it's attacking Samus, and it's just so fucking cool. And, like, Samus loses to it, and it's like a genuinely, like, tense scene in the trailer, kind of like the Emmy stuff. And, you know, I pictured in my head, like, a scene where, like, this Chozo suit thing is fighting the Emmy, and you're just trying to, like, sneak around, kind of like a scene in, kind of like one of the scenes in, maybe Zero Mission, but Fusion, but where you're, like, trying to sneak around as, like, these two titans battle above you. That would be such a cool scene that I would love to see in something like this. But yeah, I totally think this trailer should have been at, if this trailer had been at, the opening night live, yeah, no, it would have totally been so cool to see there, and it totally would have cemented the showcase. But nope, Nintendo just decided to put it out on their own, just on YouTube, which I know they've been releasing a bunch of, like, micro trailers for, like, Metroid Dread that, like, cover lore and whatnot. Personally, I've not been watching any of those, because, you know, for all the shit I've given Nintendo, and right, for all, like, you look at, like, Psychonauts 2. So, have you seen a single ad for Psychonauts 2? I've seen one. And the only one I've seen is when I turned on my Xbox, and it was like, hey, guess what? Psychonauts 2 is available now on Game Pass, or whatever. That's it. That's the only trailer I've seen for Psychonauts 2. But Nintendo has been genuinely, like, promoting Metroid. On their Twitter, every few days there's a new tweet that's like, hey, here's a special thing in Metroid. Here's like an event from the history of Metroid. Hey, you want to see some Metroid, like, high definition art from, like, the original games? Here you go. Like, art that's never been, like, officially released in, like, a HD quality. Yeah, no, it's all here. And, you know, massive props to Nintendo. Most of the times, games like these are just sent out to die. Right? They get no promotion or anything. But Nintendo has come out here and is genuinely promoting this game. And I think it's going to work. I think Metroid Dread, I don't know. I think Metroid Dread is going to be a success. I know, but there is part of me that worries. Nintendo is a monkey's paw. If you're going to get something good, that means you're going to get something bad in return. Now, you could argue that something bad in return is either Federation Force or Metroid Prime 4's delay. You know what? Either of those complaints are valid. But, of course, there is also the possibility that Nintendo is promoting this game so much, and it's not going to be that great of a game. Right? Like, you could either have the game be amazing, and Nintendo doesn't promote it, or the game is garbage, but Nintendo promotes the hell out of it. And in some ways, you might want the second one, because if Nintendo promotes the hell out of it, and the game's a financial success, that guarantees they'll make more, and if they make more, one of the sequel ones will be good. Of course, in a dream world, you know, you get the best of both worlds, which Nintendo promotes the game, and the game's great, which is what it looks like it's shaping up to be, but, you know, you never judge a gift horse by its mouth. I mean, No More Heroes 3 just came out today, and I haven't seen any promotion for that one either. And admittedly, that one's getting mixed reviews. Like, I've seen that one getting mixed reviews. But you know, it's probably great. Like, No More Heroes is the type of game that, like, it's just destined to get mixed reviews. But at the end of the day, it's probably a really good game. I've never played a No More Heroes game. I know I said I would play them when they eventually came to Switch, and they did eventually come to Switch, and then my Switch broke. Admittedly, I think the Switch broke happened after they came to Switch, but I was in the middle of Animal Crossing at the time. But maybe one day I'll play all 3 No More Heroes games. All 4, actually. Even though I do not give a fuck about Travis Strikes Back or whatever the fuck that was called. But hey, No More Heroes 3 is out, and that's actually really cool. I know people love those games. And I one day do want to give them a chance. So yeah, but yeah, no, Metroid Dread, it's still looking pretty good. I'm excited to play it when it comes out on October 8th. And because that's the same day I will get my new Switch, the OLED, and I'll have a working Switch again, and that'll be nice. So maybe that'll happen. Maybe it won't, but hey, maybe it will. I'm surprised we were first to qualify on our team. So let's talk about something more serious. Oh God. Let's talk about something more serious. Fortnite. Fortnite announced their March Through Time, which is, in Fortnite, they have done the MLK, the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., his I Have a Dream speech is in Fortnite. They've recreated the Lincoln Memorial in the Washington Mall. You can walk around it in Fortnite. They basically, from what I understand, they've turned it into like a museum. And you can walk around it. You can listen to the I Have a Dream speech. And, of course, the first thought that was running through everyone's mind is, how are they going to fuck this up? Right? How are they going to fuck this up? Now, I don't think this is directly made by people at Epic Games. I think this is... I think Time Magazine is connected to it, because it's called March Through Time. But I think this is more of a community-led thing. And I know there are actual black people working on this, which there have been projects like this that don't have it. So I think all this has good intentions. And I know it is available now, so you can go check it out right now if you want. I haven't. I have not touched Fortnite since we streamed it last in, 2019? I think I streamed it in 2019 as a joke. Maybe that was 2020, I don't remember. Yeah, I haven't played Fortnite, and I don't plan on booting it up. But this is interesting, right? I'm pretty sure they had good intentions when doing this. That's the thing. I think their hearts were in the right place. And, if this was, if it was announced that, hey, Epic, right, well, okay, so I guess first, my first worry is, oh, do you really want people, listening to the I Have a Dream speech and then doing, the floss and other Fortnite dances, doing the emotes? Do you really want that? Right, do you want... And, from what I've heard, emotes are, mostly disabled on this. But, do you really want Pickle Rick running around the Washington Memorial and all these other stupid Fortnite skins? Doesn't that kind of take away from it all? This would probably be stronger as, a single-player thing, right? Or maybe if everyone had, a select skin, right? Maybe there was, one male and one female, preset skin that you could use, and that was it, right? I know that takes away from some of what Fortnite is, but, you have to make those concessions. But no, from what I can tell, they didn't do that. No, you can totally run around as, Pickle Rick or, I don't know, Dwayne The Rock Johnson, whoever's in Fortnite nowadays. Thanos? Is Thanos in Fortnite still? I don't know. I don't play Fortnite. And of course, they didn't, there is no, Martin Luther King. There is no the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. skin. There is no, I think there's, you can get, a sticker or something like that for, going through the entire thing. But there is no, skin or anything, which was, everyone's, first worry, Oh, fuck, really? Are they going to go that far? No, they didn't. So on that end, there was definitely some restraint here. They definitely didn't just throw caution to the wind and do this. So yeah, but of course those worries I still have exist. Like the if this was like a separate game, like let's say Epic came out and they were like, you know what, we use the Fortnite engine to make like a historical game style, like let's just say a video game experience that allows you to walk through the Washington the mall, and the Lincoln Memorial, right? And you can listen to the I Have a Dream speech. There's like a museum. And like we made this game in the Fortnite engine. But because it's made in the Fortnite engine, you know what? We're just going to push it into Fortnite. So that way you don't have to download a separate game or anything. And then like maybe in like a month they take it out of Fortnite, but they release it as its own game. But for like the time being, you can just do it in Fortnite. So that way like anybody who already has Fortnite can just do this. I would be like, yeah, you know, and in some ways that's probably what they're doing. Just giving them the benefit of the doubt. Did they earn it? I don't know. But so far, like if that's what this was, like, hey, you know what? We were going to do this as a separate game and we still will, but for the moment we're just pushing it out in Fortnite so that way everyone can do it. Yeah, again, intentions matter. And I mean, to be fair, I think Fortnite did address George Floyd and all that. And I saw somebody point out on Twitter that Fortnite has done more for like racial education than the entire state of Texas and a lot of other states in the dead zone, aka the United States southern states, right? They have done, and you know that's true. Fortnite has done a lot more to teach kids about racial inequality than the state of Texas is doing right now. That's a very fair point. That's not wrong. Like, and that's kind of sad when you think about it. But yeah, so I haven't messed around with this. I don't know anything about it. But you know, you hope for the best intentions. That's it. That's what I say. You hope for the best intentions. And you know what? Even if they got some things wrong, they can still fix it. Fortnite's a live service game. So I watched Defunctland, and in their episode on Disney America, they talk about James Horton, who's a historian, and they bring up one of his quotes, which I'm gonna read right here. It kind of relates. So James Horton said, "It seems unfair to say Disney, this is terrible. You're doing this wrong. Then refuse them when they say, will you help us do it right? We need to try to make sure they do it as well as we can push them to do it." That's how I'm thinking about this Fortnite thing right now. You know, they're trying to do it. Even if they get some things wrong, we can still push them to do the best they can possibly do. And to just be like, oh no, Fortnite shouldn't be tackling a thing like this. No, that's Fortnite can totally tackle a thing like this. I think of, okay, so I've taken several history classes. And in one of the history classes I took, we talked about Venice. And the professor showed us, like, someone had recreated ancient, I think it was Venice, in a video game. Like, they had ancient Venice, and you could go in, and you could walk around, and you could, like, talk to NPCs, and there might have been, like, some fetch quest stuff you can do, I don't remember. But yeah, like someone had recreated Venice in a video game, and he was like super excited to show it to us and like have us like walk around in it and whatnot. And I mean, this was, and admittedly, it was a very simple thing, but you know, it's doing what you can to get kids interested. Or well, okay, we were adults, but you know what I mean. Like to get people interested in whatever way they can. It's my thoughts on how. So like from a history teacher perspective, history teachers might love this because this allows them to like take something the kids relate to, Fortnite, and then use it to like teach them about Martin Luther King Jr., the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. So yeah, no, on that end, I could see that being a great success. And so of course, I can see some history teachers hating it, but you know, they can pick up the slack where Fortnite lacks. It's my same thoughts on Hamilton. I remember reading a news story about a bunch of like kids in New York being given tickets to go see Hamilton, and then a bunch of like curmudgeons like came out of the woodworks to be like, oh, Hamilton is filled with historical inaccuracies, you shouldn't be taking kids to see Hamilton. And of course they were probably also, you know, the religious fuddy-duddies who bitch and moan because they say the fuck word once or twice. But no, those like history professors or whatever who were complaining about the inaccuracies of Hamilton, fuck them. They're totally wrong. I mean, yes, they are correct in the fact that Hamilton is historically inaccurate. However, Hamilton gets kids interested in American history. And it also makes them think about it more critically. I mean, they don't just call Hamilton an immigrant every, like, 10 songs for... It's probably way more than that. For no fucking reason. No, it's getting people to think about history critically. And you know what? And it gets kids interested in history, which is more than a lot of these historians have ever done. So, you know what? Take kids to see Hamilton. Let them be interested in history. Enjoy it. Savor it. Opportunities like this don't come up. And you know what? If the inaccuracies, you correct them yourselves. Right? Like someone, like a historian should write like a little, like, I'm going to say pamphlet, but like a little book that's like, hey, are you a history teacher? Did you show your kids Hamilton? Well, here's a little like quick pamphlet you could like talk about in your class that talks about like all the historical inaccuracies and whatnot. And like make that another lesson for kids. Just get them interested in history, right? Like Hamilton's doing so fucking much. And I know not everyone's writing it off, but I've definitely read articles where they are. And this Fortnite thing, I'm not saying it's apple. This is apples and oranges between the Fortnite and the Hamilton thing. But you know what I'm saying? Like, this could be doing some good. You know, and of course I'm going to go in it pessimistic. Of course, it definitely probably has some problems. Again, Rick and Morty running around in this is really fucking weird. Or, I don't know, what else is in Fortnite? I think Street Fighter characters are in Fortnite. Yeah, no, that's kind of weird. But you know, if it does some good, which currently, again, it's doing more than the entire state of Texas, I can only fault it so much, as long as it's not like being like like misleading or like racist or whatever, right? Then we have a whole other problem. But you know, even if there are problems, they can be fixed, right? We can't just write this shit off. They can be fixed. So yeah, I guess I'm in favor of this at the end of the day. I don't know. And again, this is my perspective as someone who knows a bit about history, but is also a straight Hispanic male. So I should also make that clear. I don't think the straight part matters much. And of course there's like this whole element, like, you know, the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was pretty anti-capitalism. So like this being in Fortnite, which is a very capitalistic thing, you could argue that's problematic, and I guess you wouldn't be wrong, but again, this is a very complicated issue. I'm probably not the best person to talk about it, but I am far from the worst. I would say let's move on to some more lighthearted stuff, but no, we got some more depressing shit. Because guess what? I played a fucking video game. My Xbox Game Pass expired on, I think, the 25th. Yeah, it expired, what, 3 days ago now? And so before it expired, I was like, you know, I'm going to get one last game out of it. So I played 12 minutes, which released earlier this week. 12 minutes has been a very divisive game by critics. And that's not entirely unwarranted, I should say. Oh, you know what? I'm just going to say right now, we're going to get into spoilers in a little bit, but I'm just going to put a blanket spoiler warning right here at the top. I'm going to eventually full spoil this game, but I'll put a blanket warning up right now. Do I recommend it? I guess also before then, do I recommend this game? if you have Game Pass, like if you already own Game Pass and you're curious, check it out. Right? Because it's not costing you any extra money and you can just play it for an hour, not like it, and uninstall it. If you don't have Game Pass and like you have to like pay money for this, that's, you know, not Game Pass, because Game Pass comes with all this extra stuff, don't buy it. Nope. I do not think this game is worth money, but I do think it's worth checking out on Game Pass. And it's another reason Game Pass is so great. So I guess I'll say that at the top. Let's actually go into it. So this is a puzzle game where you're stuck in your apartment, which is just it's a 3-room apartment. I mean, there's the living room, a bedroom, a bathroom, and I guess a closet. And you're stuck in a Groundhog's Day style time loop where you have 12 minutes, but it's actually more like 10. And like after like 5, so you're in your apartment and your wife's like, "Hey, I got a special surprise for you." And then after 5 minutes, a guy claiming to be a cop breaks into your apartment, ties up you and your wife, tells you that your wife killed her father. He's looking for her father's pocket watch, and then he murders you. And boom, time loop resets. So you have to somehow figure out what the fuck's going on. It's a puzzle game. It's technically like a point-and-click game. Like, you know, like those point-and-click adventure games like Day of the Tentacle or Monkey's Island. Even though there's not that much, like... I mean, there are pointing and clicking elements, but it reminds me more of a puzzle game. Admittedly, I should say, I do not like point-and-click games. Like, I don't think I've never played Monkey's Island. I have played a little bit of Day of the Tentacle. I played a little bit of Full Throttle. They're just not really my style of game. And, you know, listen... So, I do want to talk about controls real quick. I played on an Xbox. I played with an Xbox controller. I've listened to other reviews of this, and I have heard people just bitch and moan about the controls on Xbox. That the Xbox controls are terrible. And they're right. For about the first hour. The controls were terrible. But after about an hour or so, like once I knew what I was doing and I knew how the game worked, it's like Star Fox Zero. Even though I definitely think the controls in this are way better than Star Fox Zero. But yeah, like there's this initial learning curve, but once you figure it out, you know what's going on and you get kind of good at it. So I don't think I've seen a lot of people be like, "Oh, the controls are terrible. Play it with a mouse and keyboard." And I bet a mouse and keyboard is probably better. And like, could they have just have your player move around with a joystick? Like, would that have actually changed anything? Probably not. But I thought the controls, I got used to them. And bad controls are only a problem once. I think because I also never used the bumpers. I just controlled everything with the D-pad on the Xbox controller, and that worked fine. Plus, especially when you open the menu, time basically freezes. So I thought the controls were fine. But yeah, it's a puzzle game where you're like trying to stop yourself and your wife from being murdered by this guy, and you just keep doing the time loop. And I've heard a lot of different opinions on this thing, right? And like some people were like, "Oh, the puzzles made no sense," or like, "How do you figure this out?" Right? Like the game has problems. Like, oh my god. But like when it actually came to the puzzles, I actually kind of, I don't know. Maybe I got lucky. Because it definitely, from listening to some other people's reviews, there's a whole thing with a light switch, which I'll talk about in a second. But maybe I just got lucky. But on one hand, like figuring out the solutions of some of these puzzles, I felt hella smart. Like I was like, oh my god, I actually like figured that out. Oh my god, I felt like, getting some of the solutions to the puzzles were so like I just like the fact that I figured them out. I just felt really good. The light switch one. So there, at one point, so early on in the game, you can go into your bedroom and flip the light switch, and like the light like sparks, like something's wrong with the switch, like there's like loose electricity. Well, if you turn the light off and turn it on again, you get like it blasts your character back and you get knocked out. I discovered that very early on into the game, right? So I figured that out. And then at a later point, I drugged my wife, which is something you have to do to beat the game. You have to either drug or kill your wife, which comes with its own slew of problems, which real quick, this game has no content warnings, and I think it probably should have some content warnings. Like, I think you should, this is gonna sound bad, I think you should be able to murder your wife in this game. Maybe it shouldn't be required to get, like, the ending, but I definitely feel like it should at least be, like, an option. Because it's just something, like, in a game open like this, it's something you'd expect to be able to do. I've seen some people say that, no, you just shouldn't be able to murder your wife in this game. And no, I don't agree with that. I mean, it's supposed to make you feel fucked up, and after seeing yourself and your wife get murdered like 1,000 times, you eventually get desensitized to it, which I think is kind of what they're going for, as sloppily as they do it. But yeah, no, I think, and yeah, but there definitely should be some content warnings that say, like, oh, this game features murder, abuse, drugs, right? Like, stuff like that. Like, I don't know. I feel like I'm totally on board with content warnings. I do, of course, part of me is like, should a content warning give away a game's twist, or like a movie's or a book's, like, twist? And I don't know how I feel about that, but I definitely feel like some of these things, like drugs and murder and, like, suicide, because, yeah, you can just take a gun and shoot yourself, and the first time you do it, you, like, fuck it up, and you, like, lie bleeding on the ground, and the second time you do it a little better, and, like, when you kill your wife, the more you do it, the more, like, efficient you get. So, yeah, like, there's some fucked up shit in here. And I think that's the point, and, like, it's trying to be edgy, and does it succeed? Well, not sometimes, but not really, and there's some really fucking stupid shit in here. God damn it. But yeah, I definitely feel like there could have been some trigger warnings. But so at one point, you drug your wife, and, like, when you do, she goes and lays down in bed. And then when the killer walks in later on, I think I was just, like, walking around the apartment, just, like, waiting for him to show up to see what he would do. I don't even think I hid in the closet. He arrests me, then I notice he goes into your wife's room, and he turns on the light. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. And then in another run, I tried to stab the killer. Right? And you can try to stab the killer, and every time you get, like, a little better at it, you get a little farther. So, like, in the run, I try to, like, stab the killer, and of course, I think he, like, he shoots you. And then the character, who's played by, because the main cast is James McAvoy, young Professor Xavier from the X-Men movies, and I think he's in Split and Glass, right? He's in a bunch of stuff. He's the guy in this. Daisy Ridley, Rey from Star Wars, and I'm sure she's been in other stuff, is the girl. And Willem Dafoe, is the dad, who doesn't need any introduction. Green Goblin, Spider-Man, because we were talking about that earlier, right? He's the cop in The Father. He does do roles, I guess. Again, blanket spoiler warning for the entire fucking game. So yeah, that's a whole thing in this, and so it's got an all-star cast, which is both. Sometimes it's, like, fine. Like, sometimes I'm like, yeah, these are good deliveries, I guess. And then other times they're just terrible. Like, you could have just gotten some actual voice actors and got as good, if not better reads off them. So, yeah, I don't know about that. But yeah, so at one point you die, and James McAvoy, like, says to himself as the time resets. Because every time he says, like, something, he mutters to himself, like, I need to find another way to knock that guy out that's not, like, physical violence. And then at that moment, it, like, clicked. Where it's like, oh, the light switch knocks you out, but the guy turns on the light switch when he enters your room when your wife is drugged. So if you just turn the light switch on, turn it back off, then have him enter the room when the wife is drugged, he'll knock himself out. And sure enough, it works. And that's how you knock the guy out, and then you can steal his gun, and you can steal his, like, handcuffs, and tie him up to interrogate him. Which, yeah, there is torture in this as well. So that moment of discovery, like, I just feel like I did look up some things at the end, but, like, 90% of this game I figured out on my own. So that moment of discovery was just really cool. And there were a bunch of other moments like that, or where I was like, can I do this thing? Like, will it work? Like at one point, I was wondering like, could I take, so you have the guy comes in, breaks into your house to try to get your father-in-law's pocket watch, right? Like comes in to kill your wife and get the pocket watch. And you find out you have to hide, right? Like, and when the wife is like gonna tell him, but you die right as the wife's about to tell him. So you never find out where it is. But then you realize like, oh, your wife doesn't start the day knowing you're in the house. So if you hide in the closet, she won't know you're in the house and the cop will never find you. So it's like, oh, you can just start off by hiding in the closet and get away. Fuck. So I was like, okay, and you find out where the pocket watch is, but then I started thinking, this was like an hour or two later. It took me about probably, I had to do 2 runs of this game, because I got all the achievements, and we'll talk about some of that. I did 2 fucking runs of this game, probably 9 hours over the span of like 2 days, and I got every achievement, and I don't know if I did everything, but I did a lot. And so, like, probably like 2 or 3 hours in, I was wondering, like, your wife always starts off in the bathroom, and the pocket watch is in the bathroom, but I was trying to figure out, like, is there a way to hide from your wife, get into the bathroom, steal the pocket watch, then go hide back into the closet and see what happens when the cop shows up to steal the pocket watch and murder your wife? And sure enough, I figured out that you can do that. And when the cop comes in and the wife will tell him like where the pocket watch is, the cop will look, not find it, and then he'll just kill your wife anyways. But like he says something about it. So that was something I was like curious about, and sure enough, the game did think of it. So to that end, I was like, okay, that's interesting. That was something I could do. And yeah, there's just a lot of moments like that, where it's like, oh, you think you can do something, and it's like, sometimes you can, sometimes you can't, and it's fucking annoying. Like, there's this whole thing where eventually, as you start to figure out the mystery, you discover that your wife is innocent. That, like, so she admits that, yeah, she shot her father. But then when you interrogate the cop, he says that, no, the father died on New Year's. And she says she killed the father, like, not on Christmas, but like 5 or 6 days earlier, before New Year's. So it's like, no, the timelines don't match up. And there's a photo of her on New Year's. And I was so annoyed because I realized, like, oh, you can probably show him the photo. And then I went to go grab the photo and the clock ran out and I had to redo the entire thing. I had to flip the light switch, drug the wife again, right? I had to redo everything. So that annoyed me. And I guess I'll say that as well right now. Something, as you get closer and closer to figure out what's going on, you have to redo the loop a lot, and you can't just like redo the loop instantly. No, you have to like you always have to grab the pocket watch. The cop has a daughter, and you always have to call the daughter, or else the cop will just come in and kill you. And like you just have to keep redoing these certain actions, and it started to annoy me. Like near the end, not near the end of the game, near what I thought was going to be the end, it started to really piss me off. Because, like, you can murder the cop, and it just doesn't, like, that's not the ending. But, like, near the end, near what I thought was going to be the ending. So right after the cop gets the picture, and then you have to, like, call the daughter and convince the daughter to tell the cop not to murder you, and then the cop will come in and, like, talk to you. While I was trying to get that working, I was so fucking annoyed because I kept having to redo it, and like things weren't working, and it just really started to annoy me. So yeah, eventually like doing the loop over and over again really started to get to me. This was probably like 4 hours in, and I technically got like the first like real ending like an hour later. But I know for some people, like, the repetitiveness of it broke them in, like, an hour. But no, I was definitely in it for, like, a good, like, 3 or 4 hours before it really started to get to me. Because supposedly you can, like, 100% this game in, like, 4.5 hours. No, admittedly, I had to do 2 runs, because I fucked up on something that we'll talk about later. But yeah, so as you, like, you figure out the Polaroid, but you can't take the Polaroid and give it to him. No, you have to leave it on the fridge, or else he won't, like, or else he'll just kill you. So, like, that fucked up. And then in the second run, like, I left the Polaroid on the fridge. He did it, and then he still killed me anyways, and I was like, what the fuck did I miss? I have no idea what I missed, but I had to do the run again, and the second time it worked, so yeah. But yeah, so eventually you find out that, no, the wife is innocent, and you talk to the guy, and he reveals that, hey, the father's last words before he died were was the words monster. And then the wife reveals that, hey, she has a... What would it be called? A half-brother who's born... Right, like a brother born out of an affair who they called Monster, right? Who her mother, before passing away, called Monster. So, like, his last words were probably about her stepbrother, born out of the affair. And the cop's like, oh, that makes so much sense. He tells the wife that, oh, he'll go do some research on the nanny, and he'll go look into the brother, and he'll find them eventually. So that's what... And you also get... Because his daughter is dying of cancer, and part of the reason he's breaking into your apartment is to steal the watch because it's worth money, and he needs money to pay for her cancer treatment. And, like, you give him the watch, and then, like, because of this, your wife has been cleared of murder, and you have, like, this really good heart-to-heart with her right before the cop shows up. And then, like, you hug your wife and are like, I love you. And then, boom, time loop happens again. And that's, like, that's, like, a big fake out in the game. And it's the one... It's honestly the biggest fake out. Not the biggest twist, but it's, like, the big fake out. And I actually think it's done pretty well. Like, you think you have it all. It looks like the it's wrapping up on a happy note. And it's like, nope, guess what? You're still missing something. I think that moment works. Of course, the reveal to that twist is... That's the fucking problem. But we'll talk about that in a second. Oh, God. But after you get that ending, you gain the ability to call the daughter, and then there's like a new option, right? Because before there's like an option like tell the daughter like, hey, just tell your father to listen to us. You can then tell the daughter like, hey, your father's gonna murder us to get money for your cancer treatment, and with that the cop never shows up. And the whole, like, setup is, like, your wife, right? You're in your apartment with your wife, and your wife has made dessert, and she has a special announcement that she's pregnant. And so you can call the daughter and be like, hey, tell your father not to, like, show up because he's going to kill us. And she will, and he'll never show up. And then you get, like, the Groundhog's Day style, like, perfect day ending. And it's, like, really satisfying. It's the Groundhog's Day thing, right? Where you get the girl and everything ends well. And when I got that ending for the first time, I was like, yeah, I think I'm going to call it there, right? Because you get the ending, you get the achievement for the ending, and then the time loops again. So clearly that's not the real ending. But I was still like, you know what, I'm happy, and, like, let's just pretend that that's not where it looped. I think I'm going to stop there. But then I was like, you know what, I wonder if there's just a little more information you can get on the nanny. If you do the thing where you, like, talk to the cop, tell him your wife's innocent and everything. I wonder if there's just a little bit more information that you can get about, like, the father's affair with the nanny and about, like, the stepbrother and everything. So I did one more run, and that one more run fucking ruined everything. I regret doing the one more run. Because then, in that second run, you find out that the nanny's name is a flower. Something with a D. Daisy, Delilah, something like that. That's what he tells you. And then I was like, I'm sitting there and I'm like, what the fuck? Because the baby clothes, like, your wife reveals that she's pregnant by giving you some baby clothes. And the baby clothes have your mother's name on it, which is Dahlia, a flower. And it's like, what the fuck? No. And at first I was in disbelief, because that photo on the fridge that proves your wife couldn't have murdered her father, I thought the main character, right, James McAvoy, took the photo, so that means you couldn't have murdered the father. So I was like, what? But you go and you do the way I did it was I did the ending again, right? And when he mentions, like, oh, the nanny's name was, like, Daisy or Delilah or something, you give him the baby clothes, and he's like, yeah, Dahlia, that's it. And then your main character starts to freak out. And then boom, all of a sudden he's in this like library and he's talking to the father who, right, Daisy Ridley's character's father, who's, do you ever even get a name? And the father's like, oh, you're dating your sister? Fuck you. And you get in like an argument and you shoot him. And it's like, what the fuck is this? Really? Really? That's where we're going with this? Now, the one moment that after that, so yeah, you're in an incestuous relationship with your sister. And the one moment that gets me after that, so when you like use the cursor to hover over your wife at any point prior in the game, it says wife. But then after you do that scene, it then says her. So it's like, oh, that's the one like moment where I was like, okay, that's good. Everything else though with this whole incest thing, fuck. And then of course you can confess to your wife that you are her stepbrother, that you killed her father, and you get an entire other ending through it, right? There's the perfect day ending. There's a betrayal ending where you can work with the cop to kill your wife. And that's an ending. But none of these endings have credits. I think the first ending that has credits is this one right here. It's not even the confession. Just like you finding out that you're in an incestuous relationship with your sister. I think that's the first time the credits roll. Because I think the credits roll 3 times in this game. Maybe 4, actually. So that's the first time the credits roll. And then you can go check the pocket watch again. And it's looping backwards. And if you wait for it to loop backwards, it takes you back to the father's office, who again is also voiced by Willem Dafoe, so there's something going on there, and I'll talk about it. And then he's like, he gives you a choice. You can either forget about your relationship with your sister and leave on your own, or you can be with your sister. If you decide to be with your sister, you're right back where you were. If you go off on your own, that gets you the alone ending, which I think is the canon ending of the game. Because the whole thing is, I'm pretty sure this is all like, the only thing real in this game is the conversation with the father, right? Where you're like in the father's library, and the father's like, you're in an incestuous relationship with your sister, you can't do this. And then my guess is if there is like a canon ending, the alone ending is canon. Where, and God, it sounds like a Stanley Parable thing. Where you don't get in a relationship with your sister and you just live in the apartment alone by yourself. Of course, there isn't a pocket watch in the alone ending, so that way you can go back and talk to the father and change your mind. But I am convinced that, yeah, the only thing that's actually real is you talking to the father. Everything up with your wife and her being pregnant and the cop busting in. Because again, the cop and the father are played by the same character. And they're played by both Willem Dafoe, so there's something up there. I'm convinced all that shit's fake. The only thing that's real is that you talk to the father, and then you can decide to either be in a relationship with your wife, which then kills the father, or you cannot be, and that gets you the alone ending. Which I think, like, if you were to be like, oh, there's only one canon ending, I would assume the alone ending is that. I would just the way the game is structured, because that, like, getting the alone ending rolls the credits. So yeah, because this game, I just compared it to the Stanley Parable. This ain't like the Stanley Parable. The only ending that really rolls the credits is this alone ending, right? Finding out you're the incest baby, finding out you're in the incestuous relationship with your wife, you're gonna have an incest baby, and that you're the stepbrother. That gets you the credits. Going to the alone ending gets you the credits, and then resetting the clock. People have all these problems with like the game choreographing things. Personally, I thought it did fine. Right? Like, I was able to figure out everything out without looking it up. I was starting to get annoyed because some things like I thought should work didn't work. But for the most part, I was like, okay, I can tell what the game wants me to do. And once you, like, after the alone ending, when you kill the father in the alone ending, it, like, knocks a book down. And it's the same book the wife is reading. And if you talk to the father about the book, because the book is on the bookshelf, you can basically reset the entire game. It's kind of like resetting the save file in, like, Undertale or something like that. Because, you know, you're always on the same time loops and whatnot. So that's, like, that rolls the credits, and that's also like an ending, I guess, showing that no matter what you do, you're stuck in a time loop. But I'm disappointed it's not more like the Stanley Parable, where like the betrayal ending, that should roll the credits. Maybe it's not the canon ending, but I think it should roll the credits. I get the one fake out about like you like stopping the murderer, telling your wife you love her, and then time resetting. That should still be there. I don't think that should be an ending, right? That because that leads to the confession ending. But like the perfect day, that should totally be an ending. Betrayal, that should be an ending. Confession, which is also an ending where you admit you're the murderer and you're in the incestuous relationship and the cop just leaves. That should also be an ending. But nope, none of those roll credits, which is weird, and I do think, like, it makes the game feel like it's clear that they had a more conclusive ending in mind, but I definitely feel like their like honestly, if the credits had rolled after the perfect day ending, I would have been like, yeah, okay, good. And I probably wouldn't have played anymore, but because they didn't, and I just want to do that one more time. Nope, I did, because there is only one, arguably four, and again, I think resetting the clock doesn't count as an ending, even though it technically does, because it's one of the few times the game rolls credits. But, right, so I did that, and that happened. And yeah, just the whole incestuous thing is just fucking terrible. I mean, if you saw on the main channel, I was talking about Loki and Sylvie, and are they in an incest relationship? It's actually called self-cest. But, like, how bad is that? And like, the game clearly is like, no, them being in a relationship is bad. But it's just, like, it feels like it's just like, oh, well, part of me is like, did they want to make it so, like, the big twist is that you murdered the father? And, like, I could see them wanting to do that as, like, the big twist. But the question is, with the setup they have, where you're stuck in a single room repeating infinitely, how do you reveal that you are the father's murderer? And I think making you the incest baby, or, making you have an incest baby with your wife because you're the brother, is how they decided to do it. Like, that's how they decide to make the reveal that you killed the father. And I definitely don't think that was the right way to do it. But I also can't think of a better way to get out the twist. With the setup of the story, I can't think of any other way to get you, with a single room, to reveal that you are the murderer. So, yeah. But, and then, I guess, so I got all the achievements, because, I replayed the entire game. I think the second one took me, like, probably 2 hours, because, I knew everything to do. Because my mistake the first time around is that there are these paintings. And I noticed at some point the paintings were changed. But by the time I noticed, it was already too late. And you can only see the paintings change after doing certain things or getting certain endings. Like, I think finding out you're the incest baby changes one of the paintings. I think the first time you, like, stop the murderer, changes one of the paintings. And there are 3 different paintings. Each, I think, has 3 variants. One might have 4. But they each have different variants. And you have to look at them basically after every reboot. But there are certain events that change them. And I just didn't do that. So I had to replay the entire game and check the paintings on every run after I did something to change it, until I eventually saw all. I think there's only 12 paintings, because yeah, there's 3 paintings, and I think they each changed 3 times, even though they might change 4. Some might change more than that. I don't entirely remember. But yeah, just like that was the achievement I fucked up, and that's why, because I fucked that up, I had to replay the entire game. Again, clearly I didn't hate the game so much. There's still a part of me that I guess likes it, because I did replay it to get all the achievements. If I despised the game, which it might sound like I do, and I guess in some ways I do, especially like with the whole incest thing, but I don't fully despise this game. No. And like the fact that I replayed it to get all the achievements proves it. But yeah, I got all those. And, like, you get some achievements, like the confession ending gives you an achievement. Perfect Day gets you an achievement. There's a few other weird ones that get you achievements. I don't think you get an achievement for, like, killing the wife and the murderer, which I thought would be, like, an obvious one, but no. I mean, it'd be a fucked up one, but I could totally see it being something in this game. There are some weird ones, though. Like, there are just some weird ones, and I know you get one for, like, resetting the clock. But the one that... that book thing I talked about earlier that allows you to reset the clock. I missed that. I missed that book thing, and that's one of the achievements, and I did have to look it up. Right? I looked it up, and I was like, okay. And then once I looked it up, I was like, you know what? They do telegraph this, right? The fact that the book drops when you murder the father. This is actually properly set up by the game. I just completely missed it. Which, yeah. However, so the pocket watch that the father has 3 rings on it. And after you find out you're the incest baby, the first ring, like, flips. Then, after you get the alone ending, the second ring flips. And then I was trying to figure out, like, does the third ring even flip? And from what I could tell, it didn't until you get the last achievement. That, because the one where you go back in time and reset everything, that doesn't flip the final ring. That just resets all the rings. So I couldn't figure out what flipped the final ring until I looked it up. And I have no idea how the fuck you're supposed to figure this out. Basically, when you look at the pocket watch and get taken to the library with the father, you're supposed to listen to his speech. And then after he's like, when he starts yelling at you, you click on the book, which gets you to say something. And then he starts rambling. And then about, like, changing your fate. And then after a few seconds, you click a button to be like, no, I changed my mind. Actually, I want to stay with my wife. And that'll get him to continue talking until the clock in the background it starts all. I think you have to stall him for 2 minutes from 11:58 to 12. And once it hits 12, he'll, like, say something, and that'll spin the final ring and get you the final ending. How the fuck you are supposed to figure that out? Like, what in the game choreographs that? Because, like, you have to, like, stall the father for 2 minutes. And I fucked it up, like, 10 times. Because if you, like, interrupt him early, it screws it up. If you click the wrong option, it'll screw it up. And if you wait too long, you could accidentally reset the whole game. Not always, but you could. That means you have to redo everything. So it's like one of those things where it's like, how the fuck are you supposed to figure this out? Why the fuck does this spin the final ring? Like, what does stalling him, like, 2 minutes even do? And it's the game called 12 minutes. Like, so I would think it would have something to do with that. Nope. Spinning the final ring on the clock makes no fucking sense. Of course, the clock on the wall is also the dad's pocket watch. So, like, there is some sort of correlation there. And, like, that goes back to the part of it, like, are the events of the game even real? Or is the only real event in the library? I think the only real event's in the library, honestly. And maybe the alone ending. But yeah, I have the last achievement, the final ending, that I think also does roll the credits. It just seems so tacked on. I have no idea what the fuck choreographs it. But I was kind of annoyed. Like, because I was definitely, like, it took me, like, 10 plus tries to get, and I was trying, because, like, there was a point after I got the alone ending, where, like, you look at the second pocket watch and go back to the apartment, before I had figured out about the book thing, before I had looked it up, where I was like, what the fuck am I supposed to do? There's still one ring on the clock. There must be something I'm missing. And there still has to be, because I have no idea how the fuck you're supposed to figure out this last ring. I have no fucking idea how you're supposed to figure this out. But I did it, and I got all the achievements. So yeah, that's everything I have to say on 12 minutes. I was enjoying, as someone who doesn't play adventure games, I actually had a good time doing the puzzle logic. I personally found the controls fine after like an hour, and I played the game for like 10 hours. The perfection ending, I think, was... I just wish I had stopped there. I was going to. The incest stuff is fucking terrible. And it's just poorly done. The actors are fine. Sometimes they give good deliveries. Sometimes they don't. It's just kind of weird. I mean, probably the best one is Willem Dafoe as the cop and the father. I guess that... and Daisy Ridley's doing an American accent, which is like, why even just get Daisy Ridley? Like, in a weird sense, like, James McAvoy kind of makes sense. Like, if they had gotten Elijah Wood as well, I would have been like, it's weird, but I kind of get it. Because, you know, they like doing weird projects. Like, if they had gotten Nicolas Cage to be the father instead of Willem Dafoe, I would have also been like, yeah, I get that. He likes to do weird shit like this. But yeah, do I recommend the game? No, like I said earlier, no. If you have to, like, if you're at all, I just spoiled the entire thing. But, like, if you're at all curious, go play it on Game Pass. You can put, if you already have Game Pass, and you're playing all the other great games that are on Game Pass that I could recommend over this, there was just a puzzle, like, there was just a time loop game that came out the other week. It was called, like, it was something, it was like, I think it was called The Forgotten City. Oh, fucking Outer Wilds is on, which is a time loop game, is on Game Pass. Go fucking play that instead. But if you have Game Pass, you might as well, if you're at all curious, check it out. I personally thought it was fine. I spoiled the entire thing, but yeah, no, will this make, I can see why this game is so divisive. I'm definitely more on, like, the positive end of that, but definitely closer to the middle of the positive. Like, if it wasn't for the incest stuff, I'd probably be a little more positive. Like, if this was just a story about a guy wanting to date a girl, the father says no, and then he accidentally kills the father, and that sets off this whole time loop thing, I'd be like, you know what, it's got problems, but it's good. But they add in that incest element, and that does take things down a peg. It does. It does hurt this game. I'm not gonna lie about that. So yeah, I'm definitely more positive. But yeah, and of course, don't pay money for it. Get it on Game Pass. Don't actually, like, spend real money on this. Also, maybe go play I think another game that does, like, the time loop shit is, I think it's called Road 96. I think it's on Switch, but I know it because it's been in Indie Directs. But it might be on Game Pass and other shit. Go check that one out as well. I've heard, like, that game, like, it only takes, like, an hour and a half to do a run. And, like, so far, all the runs, from what I've seen people do, are different. Like, there is genuinely some, like, good variety in that. I haven't played that one either. I don't know if it's on Game Pass, but that might be more worth your money. But yeah, no, if you have Game Pass, give it a check. I mean, it's Game Pass, come on. A great fucking service that really has redeemed the Xbox. I no longer have Game Pass. I had it from, I think I got it in, like, December, and I had it until August, and it ran out on the 25th, so I don't have it anymore. Didn't even play every game I wanted to, but I played a few. Wish I had used it more. I really, especially, like, earlier in the year, in, like, March or April, I wish I had used it more. Definitely. But I definitely played some good games on it. A lot of good games, actually. And I replayed Goose Game again. Got all the achievements in that. So yeah, that's 12 minutes, which we talked about for 40. Let's talk WIBE real quick. I didn't play anything other than that. I think I'm done with Animal Crossing. I always say I'm gonna quit, but I think I finally broken the streak. Right? Like, there was that one time I missed a day, but when I missed the day, I missed it by, like, 5 minutes. This time I missed a day, and I just didn't even play. Like, so on my long, right, I talked about that day where I'm in from 7 in the morning is when my first class starts, and 7 p.m. is when my class ends. Right, that day, I did all that. I got home, and I just laid down and went to bed. I didn't play Animal Crossing. While I was laying down, I thought, like, oh shit, I forgot to play Animal Crossing. Whatever. And I didn't even play. Then the next day, I played Animal Crossing. And then the day after that, I just forgot. I just forgot to play. Yep, just straight up. I didn't have it as long. I had a pretty busy day as well. And yeah, I was laying down. It was like 10 o'clock at night. And I was like, oh, I forgot to play Animal Crossing. Whatever. Right? I guess I just don't care anymore. I'm still hoping to get all the paintings. But, like, that's it. That's the only thing I have left to do in the game. I mean, yes, I'd always love to finish the DIYs, but that's never going to happen. I've given up on that ages ago. Got the golden shovel, which was one of the few things I wanted to do. I think all that's left is the paintings. And yeah, even today, it's midnight, and it just ticked over to midnight. I didn't play today either. I had class today. I got home from class. I watched some TV, and that was it. And then I sat down to stream. I had dinner, and then, yeah, I sat down to stream and didn't play Animal Crossing today. Or yesterday, I guess. So, yeah, that's another day of me just not playing Animal Crossing. I think I've broken the streak, and I've done it for consecutive days in a row. So, yeah, I think I'm done with it. After over 500 days, I think I'm finally done with Animal Crossing. I'm still probably gonna play it more, but as of this moment, no. I think I want to get all those paintings, and you know, if there's ever an update, I'll get back to it. But for the moment, nah, I think I'm good. I think just finally being so fucking busy, it's like, nah, I don't even need to play it every day anymore. Now, the other thing we have to talk about for WIBE is I meant to talk about this like 2 weeks ago. You know, the one night the stream crashed and like it just started breaking on me. I was going to talk about it then. At least because I don't think I talked about this. I might have, but in my memory I didn't, and I didn't have it in any of the show notes. So I'm assuming I just didn't. But you know how I was watching Justice League? So right, in December of last year, I started watching Batman the Animated Series. Then when I finished that, I went to Superman. Then I went to Justice League. And then I went to Batman Beyond, which I finished. And then I went to Justice League Unlimited. I finished Justice League Unlimited. I finished it like 2 weeks ago. Maybe a week ago, actually. Whenever. I finished it. And yeah, the DC Animated Universe, which is those shows plus Static Shock and maybe Teen Titans, it's complicated. I actually rewatched Static Shock at some point as well, but I think that was like before December. I think I did that like in like September of last year. At some point last year, I did Static Shock. But yeah, the DC Animated Universe, really fucking good. Like, every disappointment I have had with the DC movies, which admittedly, yes, I love Birds of Prey. Yes, the Suicide Squad was good. Yes, the Snyder cut was better than default Batman v Justice League. Not, like, amazingly better. It still has problems, but it was definitely better. But, yeah, no, all my problems with the DC Extended Universe, like the movies, Animated Universe doesn't have any of those problems. Animated Universe has everything you want from DC superheroes. It's so fucking good. It does end on a weird note, like Darkseid comes back, which is cool. But then like Lex Luthor goes to the bleed wall and gets the anti-life equation, and then he just fucking disappears defeating Darkseid, and it's like, what? That's how it ends? I mean, you get the World of Paper, or I think it's World of Cardboard speech, and that's cool, but like, really? That's how it ends? Huh. But I mean, even like, but like all the episodes like leading up to that with like the Legion of Doom, that one episode where Lex Luthor becomes the Flash Museum, that stuff's all really good. Lex Luthor becoming Brainiac, Lex Luthor talking down the android, Amazo, and is another just amazing moment. And yeah, Justice League Unlimited is just fantastic. I don't know if I'd say it's as good as the original Justice League. In some ways it is. In some ways it might be better. In some ways it's worse. Like, it's neat seeing all the new characters. I forgot that Supergirl stays in the future. Because at one point they go to the 31st century to help out the Legion of Superheroes, and Supergirl just has a crush on Brainiac 5 and decides to stay in the future. And it's like, oh, that's fucking weird. I know that happens in the comics for a while. Like both Supergirl and Superman spend a big chunk of time in the future in like the 31st century. But it's still kind of weird, you know? But I really enjoyed Justice League Unlimited. And yeah, it's a good place to end off the right with the final fight against Darkseid. Again, the whole Lex Luthor thing's kind of weird, but like actually other than that, I think it's kind of cool. Like seeing Batman and Superman, and I think Wonder Woman's there. I don't remember, but I definitely Batman and Superman fight Darkseid is pretty cool. I do, and then I see. I don't know how the movies all tie into it, because like there are a few movies along the way. Like there's the Batman, the best Batman movie. Like, the best movie about Batman. Not the best movie with Batman, but the best movie about Batman, Mask of the Phantasm. Batman and Mr. Freeze Sub-Zero is in part of that universe. The Batman Beyond movie, Return of the Joker, is also there, which is also fucking great. Yeah, but then after Justice League Unlimited, I know there are, like, more movies. Like, I know Flashpoint eventually happens, like, 10 years later. Probably not 10 years, but it's a while later. I know Escape on Arkham. I'm assuming, I don't know. Eventually, like, because what's the one, Crisis on Two Earths? Is that what that one's called? Where like there's the evil Batman who tries to like destroy the universe, and I think he's played by oh fuck, who plays Batman in that one? James Woods. Yeah, I think James Wood either plays Batman or evil Batman. I don't remember off the top of my head. But yeah, that happens at one point. And I think I don't know, like, at what point those movies are, like, connected to the animated universe. Or, like, are they their own separate things? I think some of them definitely are. Like, I'm assuming the Killing Joke one or Superman versus the Elite are, like, their own separate things. But then other ones might connect. Because I know Flashpoint did happen. And the Flashpoint movie did get, like, a sequel that I think dealt with the Suicide Squad, which is interesting. But yeah, so that's the whole... But yeah, that's everything in the DC animated universe. At least what I can... Those shows, right? Batman, Superman, Justice League, Static Shock, Batman Beyond, and Justice League Unlimited. Maybe including Teen Titans. That one's kind of complicated. But there have been other, like I said, there are the movies. And then there is Young Justice and the Harley Quinn show, right? Which are also animated. And I started the Harley Quinn show. I was between Young Justice and Harley Quinn, which I actually, right, like I know Young Justice infamously got canceled and whatnot. But I actually was someone who supported Young Justice back in the day. I watched Young Justice when it came out. At least the first season. I watched, and same thing with the Clone Wars. I watched the first, like, 3 or 4 seasons of the Clone Wars. It never finished it, obviously, and I don't think I've seen past, like, season 4. But I watched the Clone Wars, and I watched the first season of Young Justice. Never watched the second season, but I watched the first, that's for sure. And yeah, and I was like, you know, I know Young Justice got its 3rd season, and I'm curious about that. And I'm also curious about Harley Quinn, because I did watch the first episode a few years ago, and was kind of, I didn't think the first episode was that good. But I was like, you know what, I'll give it another shot. And the first episode was fine, but after that, it just got really fucking good. Like, I think I'm only like, maybe like 5 or 6 episodes in, but the Harley Quinn animated show has been really good. I know there was that controversy about, does Batman eat pussy? Which, yes, he does. Real heroes eat pussy. But that was... Which, I hope they address it. That'd be really funny if they do. At some point. But, yeah, I know they're working on a 3rd season. But so far, like, halfway through the first season, I'm enjoying it. There are some really fucking funny jokes. Oh my... In, like, the 3rd or 4th episode... Damian Wayne shows up, right? The 5th Robin. And he said something that just had me in tears. Like, holy fuck. And then Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy are really cute together. And like I'm pretty sure I know where that's going because like I know some things from the comics. It is interesting because I know from Heroes in Crisis that they are trying to rebrand Harley or Poison. Because I read Heroes in Crisis, I do know they are trying to rebrand Poison Ivy as like an anti-hero or like a good person, and that's actually kind of interesting. And I wonder if that's going to happen in the show. Part of me kind of doubts it, but I'd be curious. I don't know. But yeah, no, a few episodes in, I'm enjoying it. And yeah, I like... And I also do want to watch Birds of Prey again. Because, like, the show is kind of like a breakup show. Because, in the first episode, Harley breaks up with the Joker. And then, like, a lot of it's like, oh, she wants to get into the Legion of Doom. Because if you're going to become a famous villain, you have to be in the Legion of Doom. Even though they're all assholes, it, like, cements your status. And that's what she's trying to do. And, like, that's what I love about Birds of Prey. Birds of Prey does not get nearly enough recognition. It seriously is either the best or second best DC extended universe movie. And part of what makes it so good is that it's, like, the perfect breakup movie. Like, that's what's so good about it. And the show is kind of doing that. Admittedly, it's doing things a little differently, and, like, there's a lot more obsession with, like, the Joker and, like, just trying to, like, prove you're better than your ex. Which, like, the Joker doesn't even show up in Birds of Prey, which is a very smart move. God, Birds of Prey is so fucking good. God damn, fucking love that movie. Yeah, oh god, seeing, Huntress and The Question date in Justice League Unlimited. That was so much fun. And Black Canary and Green Arrow are also pretty cute. But yeah, no, the Huntress and The Question. Oh god, there were some great moments in there. It's a fun show. The DC animated universe is so fucking good. And yeah, I'm enjoying the shit out of Harley Quinn. I've also been thinking about watching that Titans or Doom Patrol, which again, I did not have high expectations for Titans, but I heard it did get good. And Doom Patrol, I heard, was always good. I mean, it's got Brendan Fraser in it. Like, come on. But yeah. And yeah, I think that's all I've been doing. I got, we talked about at the beginning, I got the Glizzy. So that I played Fall Guys. I've had some books to listen to for class. Because, I can actually get audiobooks for some of these things. Because they're actual, like, they're not just, like, textbooks, but they're actual, like, fiction. Okay, some non-fiction, but like they're actual like books, so like I can get some audiobooks for these. And so I played Fall Guys while listening to some of these audiobooks. God, I have so many books to read. Sunday, I am going to be so fucking busy Sunday. I've got like 100 pages to read because I've been pushing everything off for the last minute. But it's fine. It'll be fine. At least that's what I'm telling myself to sleep at night. You know what sucks? When you get stuck in the middle... Oh, you can climb over the wall? I didn't know that. Oh, that would have been... Note to self, remember that for the future. Fuck. But I guess that takes us to the outro. I don't know how the fuck I talked for like 25 minutes at the beginning. I know we talked about like hard video games, but like... And again, I still don't really have any good examples, but... I did try Kaizo Mario. I don't even think I beat the first level, because, it's just not my style of game. Same thing with, like, a Cat Mario and whatever the fuck. They're just not my style of game. I don't care for rage games. Even though there was one rage game that I did enjoy. I actually did like, Getting Over It with Bennett Foddy. Because you listen to Bennett Foddy's, like, audio, and I always thought that was very interesting. Like, actually, like, listening to him talk, and, like, about your, like, failure, and how you get up, and, like, learning about the history of sexy hiking and whatnot. I always found that very interesting. The actual game itself, I couldn't give a toss about. Oh, I watched, RT Game do, I think this was, what, Saturday? I watched him do competitive City Skylines. I really want to play City Skylines. I have it on PS4. I think it was one of the games with gold or whatever. So I own City Skylines, and I was thinking about it. And maybe I will play it. I still have books to listen to, so I'm like, maybe I'll play some City Skylines this week. Because I usually don't like... Animal Crossing is usually the only simulation game I play. But I was thinking about... But I was like, you know what? I might enjoy a City Skylines. Because I know that EA's SimCity fucking sucked. And hey, I own City Skylines. I probably own it on Steam as well. Because I think I picked it up in like a Humble Bundle or like some charity thing along the way. I don't remember. I might own it on Steam. I don't know. I could check. Do I still have Steam open? Yes, I do actually. Library. Let's see. Fallout, New Vegas, Guacamelee. Oh, were those Ubisoft games? Fuck, those are Ubisoft games. God damn it. Grow Home is so good. Fuck that, that's a Ubisoft game. Mini Motorways, which I'm still obsessed with. Even though, you know, I didn't actually put as much time into Mini Motorways or Mini Metro as I thought I did. I thought I'd put like 50 hours into like them. Nah, admittedly, I've also put I put more time into them on mobile. Yeah. Oh, what was I looking for? City Skylines? I probably completely passed City Skylines, didn't I? It's a C, isn't it? Among Us, Cosmochoria, which I Let's Played back in the day. Huh, I guess I don't have City Skylines. Maybe I have it on the Epic Games launcher, but I'm not booting that fucker up. Oh god, The Witness. Fuck. Oh yeah, I forgot I own that one. I have some weird fucking games. Oh god, I own Scribblenauts Unlimited? Oh fuck, I kind of want to play that again. I fucking loved the first two Scribblenauts games. And I enjoyed Unlimited. Like, the series fell apart after that. The DC one looked kind of interesting. But I know the series fell apart after Unlimited because they kind of, like, reached their apex. Honestly, the second one might be the best one. But I kind of want to play... Oh, that sounds fun. Ah, fuck. Still need to play that Skyward Sword one of these days. I'll have a Switch in October. That's only a month away. But yeah. So yeah, that's me. That's me and the Golden Glizzy Hot Dog. Cute, isn't it? Where's my black and white? There we go. I think, which faceplate was I using? I think I was using this one. I'm blind. Oh, there we go. Oh, and then I just think I don't have a bottom piece. I'll keep the eyes. Yeah, look at me. Look at my costume. Oh, you know what So I still have to do those what if. I wrote the scripts yesterday for all the what ifs. I'll probably record all those tomorrow. But God, so a few weeks ago we talked about Centaur World in one of the Woodies. And I took all the parts talking about Centaur World. I cut them out of the stream and like put them up as like a stream highlight on the main channel, like Centaur World Season 1 review stream highlight. Fuck me if that's not the best viewed video I've done in like months. Like, I think it's gotten like 10 times the views that all my other videos got. I didn't realize it until I started getting like comments on the video, and I was like, wait, people are commenting on this? Okay, because I get a few of those, but not that many anymore. But then I looked and I was like, oh my god, the Centaur World it's done over 100, which I know is nothing, but you know, when most of your videos get, what, 5 nowadays, 100's not bad. Admittedly, I've gotten over 1 million views in the past 10 years, but still. Oh god, the channel's anniversary is coming up in September. September 22nd. The one video that always disappoints me that it didn't do better was the Animal Crossing one. The Animal Crossing Come Along With Me. Only 34. God, I fucking love that video. Just like, it's so good. Yeah. That's the one video, like, I'd always wanted to use Come Along With Me, and, like, Animal Crossing was the perfect excuse for it, and I'm still super happy with that video. I mean, I could probably do, because they, bit with Marshall as a Conker's Bad Fur Day reference, I probably could have tightened that up a little bit, and I wanted to put, Jolly Red in there, and then I just forgot. But yeah, no, I'm still super happy with that video. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'm still super happy with that one. But yeah, I'll get around to What If. I have it all done. I have all the scripts done. I just need to record everything, which, admittedly, I've kept the scripts short. Like, they're all, like, normally, like, some of the Loki scripts and some of the Falcon and Winter Soldier scripts were, like, 3+ pages. I think most of the What Ifs are half a page, if that. So yeah, I'll get around to those when I get around to them. But yeah, hopefully those will start coming out in the next week. Because I have been watching it, I've just been so busy. But yeah, I think that's where we're going to end off for the night. So I hope you all enjoyed. Stay tuned for more. Until next time, peace.